Hi, my name's Prue and today I'm going to talk about improving handwriting skills. We're sort of in this transition period at the moment where we're doing so much work on computers, but a lot of exams are still handwritten. So we get that disconnect where we're used to working on the computer all the time, and then all of a sudden we're given a pen and said, go off and write for 3 hours. Now I know I personally find that very difficult. I find it difficult to even handwrite like a note to leave for someone because I'm not used to it. I'm used to spending all the time on the computer. So today I wanted to talk about what sorts of things could you do to try and improve your handwriting skills. Now there's really 4 elements of legible handwriting. So the first thing you should do is to really analyse, have a look at your handwriting and look at these 4 areas. The first one's letter formation. So have you got the shapes correct? The second one is the size. Some people write too small, some people write these enormous letters that are really hard to read. The next one's the alignment on the line. So do you line up the letters correctly on the line? Are they over or are they under? And the next one's spacing between words. So first thing to do is have a look at those 4 elements. Then you can start to use some of these steps to improve your handwriting. First thing to do, I'd say, is to go out and go to somewhere like Officeworks or a stationery provider and buy 10, 15 different blue pens. Try them all for a while. Not just writing one sentence. Try them for a day or 2 and see what you think. Start to eliminate. Yep, this is a really good one. No, I don't like this one. This one's a bit hard to use. Start to find out which of the pens are best for you and then stick with that pen. Now, when you're writing, we want you to try and write with your forearm and your shoulder, not just with the hand, because you're trying to use the muscles all the way down through here, and you'll get a much better flow in the way you write. It does take a bit of time to retrain. If you're used to just moving the muscles in your hand, start to become aware of those movements and start to increase the movement. I don't mean you're writing like this, but be more conscious of the flow of the muscles up and down your arm, because this will tire a lot less easily than just using the muscles in your hand. It might be an idea to buy a ruled exercise book, something like they might use in a school, and actually practice writing in that ruled exercise book. Good thing to do is to actually find a style of handwriting that you like, so a sample of someone's handwriting, and then have that in front of you as something that you can copy and that you can practice from. It's almost like an inspiration of what you're heading towards. So when you start to change your handwriting, the first thing to focus on is the individual letters. So you need to focus on improving and changing all those individual letters, practicing those until you get to the point where you're happy. If your handwriting's really, really bad, you can go to a bookshop and buy one of those primary school cursive practicing books where it basically has the letter A written and then lines where you practice writing the letter A out. So if you might need to go way back to the very beginning and retrain yourself. Once you've sort of got the individual letters okay, the next thing to focus on is whole words. So you practice out writing whole words at a time, being aware of the flow from one letter to the next and aware of the spacing. Then you might choose a sentence that you practice all the time. And you know, a really good sentence to use is, the quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog. Now you might ask why that sentence in particular. The reason is that it uses every letter in the alphabet. If you don't believe me, write it down and try it. The quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog. So you might practice writing that over and over again. And I'd suggest actually get a separate piece of paper and have a special sentence, whether it's that one or a different one, that every time you practice, you write that sentence again, so you can start to track the progression of your handwriting. Is it improving? Is it changing? Now, to start with, when you're doing the practicing, you need to write pretty slowly, because it's all about getting the style right first. So speed comes later. You have to get the style right first. Once you're fairly happy with the style of your handwriting, then you can focus on the speed. So the way to do that is every day practice writing at speed. Free write, that just means write about anything, or choose a particular passage, write it out neatly, time yourself, write out again neatly the next day, and keep trying to improve it. So the idea is that you start to increase your speed, but you still maintain neat and legible handwriting. Just 5 minutes a day every day will actually help you do that. Now, the camera's shaking because it's sitting, come here, it's sitting on top of the cat pole, and the cat is just jumping up on top and making it shake. And the other cat, come here, is over here getting in the way, so they don't like that I'm giving my attention to the camera and not to them. So we've only got a little bit more, and that's 2 other things I want to talk about. One is a couple of special pens. Now, one way to do it is you get a pen and you put a rubber on the end of the pen like an eraser, and what you do then is with that rubber on the end of the pen, you practice handwriting with this, and this will start to build up the handwriting muscles. So it builds up the muscles in your hand so they get stronger and stronger. Yeah, okay, this one's gone on the kiddie pole as well. Over you go. Your hand will get stronger and stronger. When you get to the exam, take that off, then you'll find you can write better. The other one's a really interesting one that you might want to go and have a look at the website. It's called ringpen.com. The guy who invented this, Professor Earl Owen, fascinating guy, he used to be a microsurgeon, one of the first microsurgeons in Sydney. He designed a whole of the microsurgery instruments. He also designed some of the seats in the Opera House. So had a real diverse experience, and he did a PhD designing writing instruments. The ring pen's really interesting because it forces you to hold the pen a certain way, so it's all ergonomically designed. It really improves the speed and neatness of your handwriting. So have a look at that as well, and that's just ringpen.com. So I hope you found these tips useful. I think eventually we'll get to the point where handwriting will be something that we don't need to worry about anymore, because we will either type, or even better, we'll just speak and the computer will just automatically write what we say. But you know, they've been talking for 20 years that we'd be at that point, and we're still not really quite there yet. There is software, but it's certainly not widely available and widely used. So at the moment, we're going to keep going with the handwriting skills. So pick up your pen and off you go.